Take this tool out of your trunk where the tire tools are, where the jack is. Just grab these caps, slide them off if you have them. And then if you have a wheel lock, use the wheel lock key that's also in the trunk. Take a 17mm socket, take these lug bolts out. When you get to the last one, hold the tire on so it doesn't fall. Take the bolt out, and then grab the tire and slide it off. Use a 15/16 wrench or a 24mm wrench and loosen up the jam nut. Take an 18mm socket, take this nut off. There's many different types of front end tools that you can use to remove this, and you could even tap it with a hammer at the bottom. I'm just going to use one like this and just separate the tie rod from the knuckle. Now take the tie rod off. When you unscrew it, you want to count the turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So write that number down somewhere so you can put the new one on the same way it came off. Now I'm going to use some locking pliers on the inner tie rod to keep it from spinning. Take a 24mm socket, take this nut off. Take this clamp off, use some kind of pliers or hose clamp pliers, and just slide that off. Now there's a clamp on the boot right here. If you take a straight pick or something that will work like that, you can spread this clamp, or you can use a straight blade screwdriver if you can fit it in there. We're just trying to stretch it to loosen up the clamp so that you can just grab the boot, slide it off. Sometimes you can reuse these clamps. A lot of times you just replace them or even use a wire tie. Just try to twist this back and forth. There we go, popped it off. And then just grab the boot. And just twist it back and forth, slide it off. You can reshape it. Now before we loosen up the inner tie rod, we want to take some locking pliers or a pipe wrench and just behind the tie rod, attach the locking pliers. This is going to prevent the shaft that goes through the steering gear from spinning and causing any damage to the steering gear while we're loosening up the tie rod. Now take a tie rod tool. There's many different types. This one kind of clamps on. And I'll just tighten this down. All right, now we're going to loosen this up. Hold the locking pliers and loosen that. Once you break it free once, it'll come off pretty easily. There you go. Take the new tie rod. You can put a little thread lock adhesive on there if you would like. Line it up. Get that snugged. And you can use the same tool you use to take it off. They do make other adapters or tools. And then we'll torque this to 73 foot-pounds. Take the locking pliers off. Take some grease and just where the boot is going to go, just put a little grease on there. That's good. Take the boot. You can take a wire tie, or if you have a clamp that will work, put that on. Slide it in position. And make sure it seals all the way around. And the wire ties in the proper place. And you can use some side cutters and tighten it up a little bit more. And that's good. Now take this clamp, use your pliers, reinstall that. Put the jam nut on. Take the outer tie rod and install it, and just make sure you count the turns. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20, and put it back where it was when you took it off. Move the jam nut over a little bit. Now line the knuckle up, slide the tie rod through the knuckle, get the bolt started. You can use a bar, a pry bar, and just pry down on the tie rod. Just snug this up a little bit. Now we want to torque this nut to 14 foot-pounds and then an additional 90 degrees. If you don't have a torque angle meter, just do the best you can. And tighten the jam nut. And if you have the ability to torque this, torque that to 50 foot-pounds. Otherwise, do the best you can. Now reinstall the wheel. Put the lug bolts in. Now I'm going to torque these lug bolts to 89 foot-pounds in a cross pattern to tighten the wheel down evenly. And just go around again, double check. Take the wheel lock off. And reinstall the caps, just line them up. Make sure you put your tools back in the trunk. After you've done this job, make sure you bring the vehicle to a local garage and have it aligned to make sure you don't have premature tire wear.